when, in the course of human events,
in Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such forms as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security.
Good morning, Facebook. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I had to get my list here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gun bills going on for a vote this morning, 12 o'clock, noon. ILGA.gov, House, live audio video feed. Go to the feed, watch. You all need to watch. You all need to pay attention and watch what your lawmakers are trying to do to us. We the people. They're trying to strip us of our rights while we pay attention to whatever's on the TV. They're sitting over there in the Capitol trying to take our God-given rights away from us. It's not privilege. Gun ownership is not privilege. Gun ownership is a right. So, I was going to start off by talking about House Bill 4113. We were going to do an analyzation of that, but we've got 5 more bills that are being called to a vote today that we've got to break down. However, not all is lost, because House Bill 4113 sitting there in committee and rules right now, ready to be passed, that all the lawyers and all the domestic violence groups are spending all this money paying hired lobbyists to come in and lobby against, saying that it's not in the best interest of children for this bill. But the research speaks for itself. These bills that we're trying to pass today, that we're trying to vote on today, these gun rights bills, these take away our rights bills, aren't even necessary. You don't need this. Fix the fatherless home. Fix the fatherless home and you fix the problem. We talk about mental illness. Yeah, I'm being a little bit radical this morning because I'm pissed off. And I hope every one of you watching is just as pissed off as I am. Because every time they do this, I'm going to get on here and I'm going to be more and more pissed off every time. And I'm going to get you to get pissed off with me. Because I'm sick and tired of it. The problem is right here in front of our faces. The fatherless home is the root to all the problems. Fix it. You have the opportunity. You have historical, monumental, surgically written legislation sitting in your chamber. Pass it. Stop caving to the special interests. Stop listening to the Bar Association. Stop listening to the trial lawyers that got financial stake in this game. Tell you what, they're incompetent. They can't even read the law. They're trying to overcome a presumption of fitness with preponderance of evidence, which is a clear violation of your due process rights, and they know it. They wrote the law. The Bar Association, Maggie Bennett wrote the law. Kelly Burke sponsored the bill. They know it's in there. They're playing stupid. They're duping the legislators. They're duping you all. You're all being played. Read the bill. I urge you, read the bill. We're coming off a presumption of fitness, and we're trying to overcome that by a preponderance of evidence. The United States Supreme Court, the Illinois Supreme Court, have already ruled that it takes clear and convincing evidence to prove a parent unfit. Yet we put in back doors to do it under presumption of preponderance of evidence. I'm sick of it. The gun bills. Getting ready to vote on at noon. We're going to go down the list here. House Bill 1664. This is a dangerous person hotline. Okay, so this dangerous person hotline, the state police set up a hotline. They got to put information out to all the schools, all the teachers, all the public institutions everywhere around. They set up a hotline. Somebody watching my video right now says that Stephen is a gun owner. We saw him posting pictures of his 30-round magazines at 4 o'clock this morning. Yeah, well, I work nights. I was out putting up campaign signs until 3 o'clock this morning. I bet you my opponent wasn't doing that. I bet you none of y'all sitting in there were doing that. None of you. Okay? So, they can come in, they can watch a video like this one, say, oh, Stephen was posting clips on magazines on Facebook last night, 30-round mags on Facebook last night. Here he is today, going off talking like he's some kind of radical, like he's unhinged, like maybe he's got a mental illness. Okay? They can make a hotline call, an anonymous call to the state police hotline. Say you're a dangerous person, they feel that you are a harm to yourself or to others. Okay? You are a harm to yourself or others. An anonymous call to a hotline through the state police. Once a certain number of these have been made, they come in and they confiscate your weapons. Confiscate your weapons with no due process. Again, just like House Bill 4113, no due process. Clear due process violations. They think we're stupid. The legislators, you're listening to these paid trial lawyers, listen to me. I study the Marriage and Dissolution Act. I know it inside and out. You're being duped. It's coming off a presumption of fitness. Fitness takes clear and convincing evidence to prove. You don't believe me? Look it up. Do the research. It's there. It's all been pointed out in committee. It's all on Facebook. The evidence, the writing's on the wall. It's there, folks. Your due process when it comes to raising your children, being a meaningful part of your children's life is being stripped from you. Your due process when it comes to owning firearms is being stripped from you. And what are we doing about it? We're sitting here talking about, oh, how bad it is. How corrupt it is. Yeah, well, you know what, man? I got up off the couch. I'm running. I'm doing this. I'm in this to win this. I'm tired of it. I'm one man. I'm one vote in the General Assembly. But you know what I can do? I can continue to expose it. As I sit on the inside and watch it, I can bring it to you live. Dangerous Person Hotline. I believe it's 5. I briefly skimmed the bills this morning. I haven't had time to read them. I was up until 3 o'clock this morning putting out campaign signs. By they, I mean the judicial system. Yes, so do I, Jody Scott Flynn. And I don't mean just the judicial system. I mean the judicial branch, the legislative branch, and the executive branch. All three. They're all three corrupt. They're rotten to the core. It's got to stop. The only way it stops is with us. Do you know where the power lies? The power starts and ends with you. It's all about what you are going to do about it. Are you going to go on to the ilga.gov today at noon and you're going to watch? Are you going to watch how they're stripping you of your rights under the name of safety and the best interest of children? Or, hey, what about this one? Mental health. Mental health. He's unhinged. He's off his rocker. He's unhinged. I hear that a lot. That's how my enemies like to paint me. You notice I went unfiltered this morning because I hope they put this on TV. I hope they do. I hope they save it up and they put it in their little war chest. And 2 years when I come at their incumbent, 2 years when I come at their incumbent, you're going to see these videos all over the TV. You're going to see my crazy still faces like this one. Ah! They're going to put that all over a mailer. Ah! Let me give you another one. Ah! Maybe I should go grab a 30-round magazine and hold one in each hand. Ah! Put it all over your mailers. I don't care. Because it's my right. A right, not a privilege, a right. Know the difference. When we've got lawmakers sitting in the General Assembly that don't know the difference, we've got problems, folks. We've got problems. So, dangerous person hotline, 5 calls, I believe it is. You're toast. They come in, they take your guns, they confiscate you, make you go do a mental health evaluation at your own cost. And then once your mental health evaluation comes back, then you can go get a hearing. Then you can go to court, you can get a hearing, and you can fight to get back a right that was never theirs to give you to begin with. I hope you people are pissed, because I am. Second, House Bill 1469, magazine ban. Anything over 15 rounds. The bill will be enacted in with 19 days if you do not turn in your 30-round magazines within 90 days. You instantly become a felon because you are in possession of a 30-round magazine. Well, just like I put up on my post last night, you want them? Come and get them. I ain't turning over anything. I'm not giving you consent. I don't consent for my rights to be taken away from me. They're my rights. You don't like it? You don't like that I own them? Come and get them. Come and get them. That's all I got to say. Come and get them. House Bill 1468. Here we go again. AR-15 bans. The big scary black looking guns. Ooh. Yeah. There's actually in the language. I'm not even lying to you guys. In the language. It says, a 3-day waiting period for any firearm that is black. Black! A 3-day waiting period for any firearm that is black. So we're discriminating against a firearm because of its color. Let's just put that into perspective real quick. I had a dream last night when I got home, 4 o'clock in the morning, from putting up campaign signs. I had a dream. I had a dream that my firearms would be judged for the content of their character and not the color of their skin. Not the color of their powder coat. So go get a pink one, I will. Actually, I'm going all chromed out, shiny, bling, bling, silver. You look at it puts your eyeballs out. Bling, you can't see. So, AR-15 ban. They're going after the AR-15s again. House Bill. Next on the agenda, House Bill 1467. Bump stock ban and trigger modifications ban. Sound familiar? It's back. It's big and it's black and that means it's get banned. That is just racist, Chris remarks. You are right. And I want to know where all my Black Lives Matter people are at. I want to know where all these people are at that are being discriminated against through an unfair, unjust system. I want to know where you guys are at standing up for your Second Amendment rights. You think you're being oppressed and discriminated now? Wait till they take our second away from us. Look, I'll die on my feet before I live on my knees. I'm not scared of death. I know what awaits me. My Lord and Savior has gone to prepare a mansion for me. I'm not afraid of death. We start to die the day we are born. Bump stock and trigger modification bands, not much to say about it. It's the same shit coming back again. Sorry for the language, man, but I am upset, you guys. I am angry. House Bill 1465. AR-15 sales. So this, well, it's not just AR-15s, okay? It's any magazine. We're going to get into the specifics of the language in a couple of these bills here in just a minute. I'm especially going to read to you the part about the black. If it's a black gun, it's a 3-day waiting period. Simply on the grounds that the gun is black. I'm not joking. You cannot make this stuff up, folks. It is in the language. It is in the writing on the wall. They wrote in there, because if the firearm is black. I can't even believe it. So, before we get into specifics of the language, we got to talk about a few things. We've got to talk about the scare tactics. I know, Nikki, I am so sorry about the language. I apologize. I'm all hopped up on Keefy coffee. Ah! Here, we'll give him another one. Ah! Here, actually, get this one on there. Ah! Yeah, because my daughter every morning tells me, Dad, when are you running for president? When are you running for president? She bought me this for Christmas. She also got me a shirt that says Dad for president. And she says, when? She's like, what number president do you think you'll be? She says this morning. What number president do you think you'll be? I was like, well, I've got to make a lot of money to become president, to get on the ballot in every state even, so probably number like 75 or something. I don't know. We'll see about that. Anyhow, okay. Mass shootings. Mass shootings, we have a problem. Okay? It's the gun's fault. It's the mental illness's fault. Okay? It's society's fault. It's the NRA's fault. It's everybody's fault. First off, except for the shooter. The shooter, okay? The murderer. The murderer. I'm not even going to call him a shooter. I'm not even going to call him a shooter. It's everybody's fault but the murderer. Here we are. This is funny. I put up a post on Facebook the other day about hanging him. Public execution at the Washington Monument and televise it across the nation. Public broadcast, emergency broadcast system. Beep! And watch and let the fathers, the mothers, the brothers, and the sisters, let them all get up there and hold hands in unity and pull the switch and watch the floor drop out from under him and watch him dangle. Leave him up there for a couple days. I got told by a crazy leftist that I'm an inhumane person because of that post. And this is coming from an advocate that advocates for the murder of unborn children at all stages. At all stages of pregnancy. Midterm. Doesn't matter. Third trimester. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. These people, really seriously, they believe that you can pull the baby out and as long as the head is still in the womb, you can take a sharp adamant object and you can poke it into the brainstem and you can kill this, pull it back out. That is an abortion. No, that is murder. That is not an abortion. That is murder. Okay? So don't tell me that this is about the death of children. Don't sit here and tell me how many more. How many more? Don't tell me how many more need to die at the hands of firearms before we do something about it. How many more need to die at the hands of doctors before we do something about it? I'm sick and tired of the hypocrites. I'm tired of it. So you say it's best for children. How many more have to die? Blah, 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 blah. It's the gun's fault. We got to make it to where these kids can't get access to guns. We got this mental illness. These kids with mental illness are getting these guns. We got to stop the guns. We've got to stop. Yep, Chris, you've got it. look into the root of the cause of the trauma that is politically engineered. Amen, brother. Because here's the thing. We talk about the mental illness. What caused the mental illness? The solution's sitting there in your chamber. It's House Bill 4113. Go read it. Go read it, because listen to me. Let me tell you all something about House Bill 4113. All you legislators that are watching this are going to get word of this, and they're going to tell you, all your colleagues are going to be laughing today, saying, Stephen is going off the charts today. Watch this video. Well, in the end, you can laugh right now, but in the end, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be us that's laughing. Because if you oppose 4113, you oppose not only your Republican Party platform, for all you Republicans out there, hint, hint, you also violate your oath of office by violating the Constitution of the United States and a precedent set by the Supreme Court of the United States. So go ahead and vote no to the correction of due process. And wait and watch me laugh. Because it will be my turn to laugh. And it hurts to laugh. Remember that. It hurts to laugh. Okay. So back to the mental illness. The underlying issue. What causes these mental illnesses? Are these kids just born with mental illnesses? No. No, they're not. I had a troubled teenager. I had to send her off to a faith-based girls' home. I did everything I could possibly try to do. Now, without the truth, God is not present. Jody, you're right. But here's the thing about that. What is done in the dark will come out in the light. And I promise you to God, brother, God is present. And He is right here with us. And He is speaking to us. It is time, brother, man. It is time. The Lord is here with us, man. The Lord is here with us every day. And I have no doubt I've been proven wrong every time and time again. When I try to believe otherwise, He smacks me in the face and says, well, here you go. If we as a society correct the political atmosphere of government-caused child trauma through entitlement, I can't see the rest of your comment. But yes, through entitlement money, state incentive money into the states from the Social Security Act, right? Okay, so we're getting billions of dollars into the state of Illinois to tear apart families. Why would we want to pass something like House Bill 4113 that would fix that? And then our money would stop. Why would we want to pass something like House Bill 4113 that would stop the mental illness before it begins? Why would we want to pass something like that? Because then we wouldn't have any agenda, we wouldn't have any rhetoric to stand on when it comes to taking people's rights away from them in the name of the children. So, real quick, we're going to run over a few things. 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. That is from the U.S. Department of Health and Census. That is 5 times the average. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 32 times the average. 85% of all children who show... Hold up, wait a minute, listen to this. 85% of all children who show what? Behavior disorders. 85% of all children who show behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. Wait, let's see where this one came from. This is 20 times the average, by the way. Guess where this statistic comes from? The Center for Disease Control. The CDC, baby. We didn't make this shit up. Okay? 85% of all children who show behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. 80% of rapists with anger problems come from fatherless homes. That's 14 times the average. You can find this in the Journal of Justice and Behavior, Volume 14, page 403 through 426. 71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 9 times the average. This is from the National Principals Association report. So don't call me on my statistics because I can cite my sources. Father factor in education. Fatherless children are twice as likely to drop out of school. Children with fathers who are involved are 40% less likely to repeat a grade in school. Children with fathers who are involved are 70... Sorry, phone call coming in. Children with fathers who are involved are more likely to get A's in school. Children with fathers who are involved are more likely to enjoy school and engage in extracurricular activities. 75% of all adolescent patients, check this one out, 70% of all adolescent patients, okay, in opioid crisis, okay, 75% of all adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes, and that is 10 times the national average. Opioid crisis, fatherless homes, rape, behavior disorders, fatherless homes, fatherless homes, fatherless homes. Father factors in drug and alcohol abuse. Let's check this one out. This one, the researchers at Columbia University found that children living in two-parent households with a poor relationship with their father are 68% more likely to smoke, drink, or use drugs compared to all teens in two-parent households. Teens in single mother households are at a 30% higher risk than those in two-parent households. Okay? Listen to this one. Another big percentage. 85% of all youths in prison come from where? Well, first off, let's rewind. 85% of all youths in prison, where do they come from? Any guesses? Fatherless homes. And that is 20 times the average. Fatherless factor in incarceration. Even after controlling for income, youths in father-absent households still had significantly higher odds of incarceration than those in mother-father families. Youths who, so poverty still didn't even make a difference. Even when the kids even when these kids growing up in single homes without fathers were not living in poverty, it didn't make a difference. It didn't change. Okay? So poverty is not the issue. Look at the statistics for what they are. Actually read them. Understand the language for what they are. Hint, look at the periods. Look at the commas. Look at where the stuff's located. Okay? Father factors in crime. A study of 109 juvenile offenders indicated that family structure significantly predicts delinquency. Adolescents, particularly boys, see, boys are demons. Remember what the feminists always tell us. The boys are demons. They're horrible. They're monsters from birth. Okay? Particularly boys in single-parent families were at higher risk of status, property, and person delinquencies. Moreover, students attending schools with high proportion of children of single parents are also at risk. A study of 13,986 women in prison showed that more than half grew up without their father. 42% grew up in a single mother household, and 16% lived with neither parent. Okay, there's tons more. I could go into the fatherless factor and child abuse, all of it, but I wanted to stick to the ones that are pertinent to the issues that are hot topics right now. Gun violence, mental health, the gun. It's not the gun. It's not the gun. The gun, I don't care if you put a bump stock on it, it's not the gun. The gun doesn't get up and pull the trigger. The gun doesn't get up and shoot people. It's the person behind the gun. That is where the problem is at. Whether that's easy access to guns or mental health, whatever that is, that's where the problem's at. It's not the gun. Doesn't matter if it's an AR-15. It doesn't matter if it's a 50 caliber. It doesn't matter if it's a 9mm. It doesn't matter if it's a bow and arrow. Watch the movie. We got to talk about Kevin. We need to talk about Kevin. Watch the movie. The kid's deranged. His parents know he's deranged, okay? He's got issues. Nobody ever wants to say anything. Nobody wants to say anything. Kevin goes and orders a bunch of U bicycle locks off of eBay. His dad sees it and he says, "What's going on?" And he says, "Oh, Dad, I can buy these things at $5 a piece. I can flip them for $10 a piece at school. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm starting a small business." Dad's like, "Great." Okay? The kid loved archery. What's he do? He goes and he waits till everybody gets in the gymnasium of the school, and he puts the U-locks on all the doors in the gymnasium of the school, and he sits there and he hunts them all down with a bow and arrow, one by fucking one. So we're gonna ban bow and arrows? It doesn't matter. A sick person is gonna do sick things, and you're not gonna stop them. They're just gonna get more creative. Ban the guns. Go right ahead, because all they're going to do is they're going to get more creative. And it's going to be more death-defying. It's going to be more traumatic. The deaths are going to get more heinous and more heinous. I'm too young for it, but there was axe murderers. They happened over here on South Grand in Springfield, Illinois. There's speculation if the dude ever got caught or he never did get caught. I don't know. But an axe murderer. Do we ban the guns and people stop shooting people? And what? Axe murderer? You've never heard of an axe murderer? It happens. Okay. It's not the gun. It's the person standing behind the gun. He's got a mental health issue, right? So, what can be done? What can be done? We can throw more money at the problem. We can create new programs in a state that's broke. We can say it's for the goodness and the well-being of society. We can fearmonger and say that our children's safety and lives depend on it. They talk about us spewing rhetoric and using fear. What are they doing? Not only are they using hate or fear and rhetoric, they're using children as pawns in their game. Okay? The mental illness. We can create more programs. We can give more funding to mental health programs. Or we can actually start to look and say, what's causing these mental illnesses? What's causing these mental illnesses in these children? That's causing them to have this mental illness that makes them get up or makes them think that it's okay or whatever goes on in their brain, because I could never imagine what would have to be going through somebody's brain to walk into a school and shoot innocent children. Okay? You know what? Don't take this the wrong way. Don't think that I'm a radical and I'm advocating him and inciting, because I'm not. But you know what? I could absolutely see a shooter walking into somewhere like the state capitol building and shooting up the place. I could absolutely understand where that anger and frustration comes from, but you know why they don't? Because they wouldn't make it past the front door. You notice they'll go and shoot lawmakers on a ball field, but you notice they won't walk into Capitol Hill and shoot them. You know why? Because they would get stopped at the door. Armed guards, metal detectors, hard entries on all entrances of the building. Harden the schools. Arming teachers? No, don't arm teachers. Put armed guards. I don't care. Deploy the National Guard to stand in front of our schools. Employ the militias. I'm sure there are tons. For one, I would stand up and I would walk to that school every single morning, and I would sit at the front door of a school every single morning. You ain't got to pay me a dime. Give me permission. I will sit there every morning. I will give you my time. What I won't give you is my tax dollars. You already got enough of those. I ain't got any more of those to give. So, we've got to find solutions that work well within our current budget. Which nothing works well within our current budget, but that's another discussion for another day. Alright. The root of the problem. Why is it that no one ever wants to talk about the root of the problem? Illinois' solution is throw more money at the problem and hope it goes away. Throw more money, more money, more money, more money, more programs, more money, more programs. We can create more ghost positions. We can give more of our friends and our inside buddies and their kids and their brothers and their sisters. We can give them more insider jobs if we create more programs. We can create more ghost jobs. We can appropriate more funds to these programs. We can tax the citizens even further and say they're a must. Don't you want to keep your kids safe? No, we can do it within the boundaries that we have now. By eliminating the ghost jobs. By eliminating some of the 43,000 elected officials we have in this state. Over 6,000 units of local government that we have in this state. Out of control lawmakers that are incompetent, that can't even recognize simple, tiny due process violations when we come across them. Like House Bill 2812 that I went over in my last video. That one's comical. That one's stupid. If they can't see that they can't invade your privacy without a court order, they're all useless. They're all worthless. They all should be fired. Every one of them that voted for that bill. And there's some of them out there that I really love that voted for that bill. But you know what? I'm calling their asses on it. I'm calling you on it. You obviously didn't read the bill, and if you did, you skipped over the due process violation, and if you skipped over the due process violation, you are in violation of your oath of office to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of Illinois. Police. We have police officers driving around this town all day long. Matter of fact, I was out last night. I'm putting up campaign signs. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm strolling down Stevenson Drive with a wagon behind me full of signs. I have a city cop. Rolls by real slow. He comes up, kind of spots his spotlight over at me. He goes, pulls up, pulls a U-turn, has his dome light on, pulls up next to me. I reach over and I grab a Genie Eyes for Governor sign out of my wagon. I stick it in the ground. He looks over at me. Turns off his spotlight, turns on his dome light, and keeps on rolling. Shocking. Again, second time around. Sangamon County trooper, same thing. He stops, starts creeping, spots light over at me, sees me pluck a sign in the ground, goes on about his business, pulls over a car leaving the bar. That's what he should have been doing. Why was he worried about me walking down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning pulling a wagon? Yeah, it may be a little odd. It may be a little suspicious. I work nights, you guys. I should be sleeping right now. I didn't go to sleep till 4 o'clock this morning. I should be sleeping right now. I work nights. My schedule is the opposite of the rest of the world. To see me walking around at 3 o'clock in the morning is a norm. That's a normality. Okay. Harden the schools. Harden the schools. There's plenty of people that would volunteer their time. There's plenty of ex-law enforcement officers that are retired that I guarantee you would volunteer their time to go sit in a public school and guard those doors. I guarantee it. Ask. Just like with your campaign donations. Remember, the number one rule why people don't get money is because they don't ask. You guys don't have a problem asking us for money. You have no problem asking us for campaign contributions. Why don't you ask the retired police? Why don't you ask the retired military if they would be willing to volunteer their time to go protect our children? Because I bet you the results would be overwhelming. And that's one. Okay? That's one step. The second step is getting to the root of the problem. The root of the problem has been identified. I've already read you the statistics. There. The proof is on the writing is on the wall. The proof is in the pudding. However you want to say it. Whichever saying you prefer best, depending on which generation you are. I guess one works better for you than the other. Whatever, man. It's all the same. It's all there. Okay? The proof's there. The statistics are there. The bill is there. The bill is sitting in the Illinois General Assembly. But instead of talking about we want to talk about the mental health and the guns. We don't want to talk about the underlying problem, though. We don't want to talk about the underlying problem that our family law structured legislation, our Marriage and Dissolution Act. Look, a lot of people attack judges. I don't attack judges. I attack incompetent lawmakers because when I look at a law, I look within the four corners of a document. And that's how the law is supposed to be looked at. Judges, it's all about interpretation, man. It's just like with our Supreme Court. It's about interpretation of that law. And when you've got incompetent lawmakers or incompetent lobbyists like Maggie Bennett and all these guys over here at the ISBA writing laws, here's the thing. They either know that they did it or they're that stupid. They either know that they did it and they're trying to pull the wool over our lawmakers' eyes, or they're really that incompetent. Either one, unacceptable. The ISBA from today forward is no longer allowed. Be it declared by the citizens, we the people of the state of Illinois, the Illinois State Bar Association is no longer allowed in the family law legislation arena. Conflict of interest. Answer me this. Attorneys are officers of the court, are they not? They should like to clout that and say that they are. We're officers of the court. 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 That means you're part of the legislative branch, does it not? If you are an officer of the court, that means you are a member of the legislative branch of government. That means by you lobbying, drafting, lobbying, and pushing legislation through the legislature, you are in violation of Article 2 of the Illinois Constitution. Go look it up and read it sometime. The legislative branch, the judicial branch cannot practice and do the job of the legislative branch. Separation of powers. If you are an officer of the court as you claim to be, that means you are part of the judicial branch of government. That means you cannot act in a legislative aspect of government. Yet, we have attorneys sitting in our General Assembly that practice law while they sit in the General Assembly. That is a clear violation of Article 2. Wake up, people. Get woke. That's what all the cool kids are saying nowadays. Get woke. This has got to stop. And it stops and ends with us. We hold the power. We have to stand up. If I draft up eviction notices and I put out press releases and I go stand there in front of the Statue of Lincoln at the state capitol, I put on a press conference, I let the press know that I'm going inside this building to start serving eviction notices, how many of we, the people that are pissed off, are coming with me? It's one thing to talk about it on Facebook. It's one thing to spread awareness. But the time for spreading awareness is out there, man. It's falling on deaf ears. It's time for action. We have to stand up. And I got to give mad props to all the family rights advocates that are running. Chris Mark's going to try to run for president in 2020. God bless you, brother. Cass Jackson trying to run for state governor in Illinois. God bless you, brother. Dustin Long trying to run for state senate over in North Carolina, South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. God bless you, brother. Mario Jimenez down in Florida. God bless you, brother. We need more of them. It's time. Stand up, guys. We got to do it. We've got to do it. We've got to get off the couch. We've got to take action now. If it gets too much further, you guys, the only thing is a full-blown revolution. I don't want that. I don't want that for my children. All I want is a competent government. that recognizes and truly believes in that oath that they take when sworn into that office. I want legislators that know the Constitution inside and out. I want lawmakers that when they see a due process violation coming through the pipes, they stand up, they get on Facebook Live, and they yell about it. They yell about it, and they tell the people to yell about it. Call your lawmakers. Yell at them. It's not the judge's fault. It's not your ex's fault. It's the lawmaker's fault. The responsibility lies on them. They create the policy. They are the ones whose hands are dirty. Okay? Mental illness, fatherless homes, connect the dots. 85% of children with behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. Connect the dots. Marriage on children causes trauma. Have you ever been through a program? I started to touch on this earlier about my daughter going through the Baptist Children's Home in Carmi, Illinois. We had to put together a trauma narrative. And we had to literally work on these traumatizing events. We had to pinpoint one traumatizing event, and then we had to try to work through that. Okay? So that trauma. All right? A trauma. Okay, and listen. My first daughter, I had custody of my first daughter. My first daughter lived with me. Her mother bounced in and out of her life. Okay? So it's not just a fatherless problem, right? It's not just a fatherless problem. But the thing is that 82.2% of non-custodial parents in this country are fathers. So of course there's not very much or any research on that 17% of mothers that are non-custodial parents being absent in the children's lives, having an effect on the child. Of course there's not. It only makes sense. If you truly believe that children need both parents, then you truly believe it doesn't matter if you take away the mother or you take away the father. It's detrimental to that child. PTSD, bipolar disorder, behavior disorders. 85% of children coming from single parent homes with behavior disorders. 85%. Let that sink in. We'll talk about responsible gun ownership and responsible gun legislation and what should be out there and what shouldn't be out there. You know what? Take the bump stocks. I don't care about a bump stock. I could care less. Quite honestly, I am not going to use a bump stock. I don't have that kind of money. And I don't feel like jamming my fingers down. If I had a bump stock, I would need a 500. I would need belt fed or something if I wanted to use a bump stock. I am not going to sit there and push 30 rounds. I'm telling you, if you get 25 in, those last 5 are not easy, man. I'm not going to sit there and push them dudes in there and push them dudes in there and push them dudes in there and then go, oh, there's 30. Oh, there's 30. Oh, there's 30. Not to mention the $60 that I just spent. That was fun. $60 worth of ammo. Gone in 30 seconds. Wow, that was productive. Alright, here's another thing with the bump stocks. I don't care about a bump stock, and honestly, in my opinion, I believe that the bump stock should go, and the reason that I believe it should go, because I believe it's just one more tactic and tool for them to use against the AR-15. And this is something that I was going to put into my platform, but I just never really got around to doing it because I never did sit down and actually get the language drafted. But the AR-15 Protection Act. Man, go down to the county building, underneath the name Mike Murphy, on the ballot, circle that little box, write in Stephen Westerfield, okay? And we're going to write the AR, me and all of you together. We're going to sit down as a people, not as lawmakers, not as you the peasants and we the kings, right? I'm actually going to sit down with you guys Right out in a public place. I don't care. I am not too good of a person that I don't have time to speak to you today, sir. I don't have time for the peasants. The peasants are the only ones that matter. And I'm a peasant right along with you guys. And I love my peasant brothers and sisters. You know, I brushed my hair this morning before I came on video so they didn't say, oh my God, look at his hair. And I actually got dressed so I didn't put on pajamas. I'm wearing a Misfits t-shirt with a skull and crossbones and it's red. You know, it looks kind of scary. I almost changed it so that people couldn't go on there and say, oh my God, look at Steven. He's got blood and skulls and bones on his shirt. And he's talking about assault rifles. What is an assault rifle? Exactly. I don't own assault rifles. The only thing my rifles have ever assaulted is some paper about 50 yards downrange. It's the only thing my rifles have ever assaulted. Is a piece of paper hanging from a clip on a wire, strung out about 50 yards back. Now, I tell you what, my AR has assaulted the hell out of some pieces of paper. But that's all it's ever assaulted. So I guess technically, if we're looking at paper, the assault of the paper, I guess technically my AR could technically be an assault rifle, I guess. Because it has assaulted paper. Paper lives matter, guys. Paper lives matter, alright? Paper matters. We don't care about chopping down the tree, but that paper, you go out and shoot that paper up, man, woo! My goodness, you're a radical. You think that thing is an assault. Look at all those holes that you put in that piece of paper. Right in that guy's forehead. Oh my goodness, is that a guy on that target? And look, you've got probably 30 holes in his forehead. Oh my God, you're a madman. Yeah, this is the world we live in today. It's disgusting. Anyway, AR-15 Protection Act. We are finally going to sit down and once and for all, we are going to make it known in the Illinois statutes that an assault rifle does not exist. It is not a real thing. It sucks that we actually have to write a law for this, but apparently we really have to be that stupid. Hold on, because we did have to write a law that said that judges in the family courtroom cannot discriminate and take parenting time away from a parent because they are because they are blind. We had to write a law to tell judges that you couldn't discriminate against a parent and take their kids away from them because they were blind. So why would it surprise me that we have to write a law to define what an AR-15 is? And write a law stating that an assault rifle doesn't exist. I mean, that could be the language in the bill right there. We could just write it, the AR-15 Protection Act. We could just write out, there is no such thing as an assault rifle. Okay? That'll be the language of the bill. That's all it needs. It really doesn't need to say anything else, man. Family values is key to our society, brother. It is. Look at it. Look at the drug use. Okay? Look at the opioid crisis. Look at the statistics. I just read them off to everybody. Look at the statistics of fatherless homes and drug use. Adolescent drug use. What was it? 70% of adolescents in chemical abuse treatment centers come from fatherless homes. 70%. Look at the opioid crisis. Come on, man. It's time to stop throwing money at the problems, and it's time to actually start addressing the roots of the problems. Stop the war on families for monetary gain, whether it be trial attorneys or whether it be for incentive dollars from the Social Security Act. None of it's here nor there. Here's the deal. I don't care why you're doing it, but stop it. Knock it off. Do not sit here and talk about mental illnesses and we're going to ban people from, hey, look, I suffer from anxiety. I have anxiety. I take alprazolam. I also have high blood pressure. I take propranolol. I take the two of them on a daily regimen. So are they going to come out and say, well, anxiety, you can't own a gun because you've got anxiety? Get out of here, man. Let's get to the roots of the problem. Let's end the war on families, and let's fix the broken homes, and let's put in place an equal playing field. House Bill 4113, it's common sense. You want common sense gun legislation? You want common sense gun legislation? Go vote yes, add your name as a co-sponsor to House Bill 4113. That's common sense as it gets. Getting actually to the root of the problem and solving it. Yes, we need to harden our schools. We need to put safeguards in place for this generation. But I'm telling you right now, you fix the problem, you give fathers equal access to their children, children equal access to their fathers, both parents give children equal access to both of their parents. Within one generation, we're going to end it. We're going to end it. Because let me tell you something. And we can all go back to this too. We can all go back to God. We all go back to God is gone from our schools. God is gone from our country. You're right. You're right. But what is the father's responsibility in the household? By biblical terms, what is the father's job in the household? If 85% of fathers are not in their children's lives, who is there? It's no wonder that God is not in their lives. It's the father's responsibility for the spiritual and moral upbringing of his children. So if we want to talk about the absence of God, we've got to talk about the absence of the people that God gave the responsibility to. We've got to talk about the absence of the people that God worked through. What did he say in Isaiah? They will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite ye with a curse. The curse is here. The curse is here. The curse is a jacked up society. The curse is the breakdown of the family unit within our society, the moral breakdown of our society, the removal of God from our society, the removal of family values being instilled into our children. The root of the problem. Talk about responsible gun legislation. We need to pass responsible gun reform. It's already there. It's already been proposed. It's already sitting in committee. We've already had subject matter hearing. We've had roundtables. It's sitting there. House Bill 4113 is the answer. And if you don't believe me, if you got something else to say about it, I challenge any one of you sitting in the General Assembly today, a sitting lawmaker in the House of Representatives, to come on Facebook Live, come watch the video. I can add you in here. We'll debate. Any one of you. Any one of you that want to come on out. Any one of you that think that you know what's in House Bill 4113 and you know how it's going to hurt children, I challenge you right now to come out. We'll set it up. We can make it a public event. We can go to the Blue Room. We can get moderators. I challenge you. Lindsay Parkhurst, I challenge you. Oh, and by the way, I want to say a huge big shout out thank you to Senator Castro over in the Senate for picking up House Bill 4113 and being the chief co-sponsor. She's going to be our champion in the Senate, folks. Make sure you call her office today and give her a big hell yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Because she is one of the only smart ones that's actually, well, not one of the only smart ones, okay? Because we've got a lot in the House that are there, okay? But she's one of the smart ones that actually sees that you want to talk about responsible gun legislation. It all starts at home. It all starts with the family, okay? That's where it starts. The mental health problems, they start at home. They start with the breakdown. The moral decay of our nation starts at home. It starts with the breakdown of the American family. It all starts at home. And hey, we've heard it all before. It takes a village, right? Well, it does take a village. And it's going to stop with the feelings. Quit saying how many more and trying to get everybody to play to their feelers. And let's sit down and actually have some real discussions. You actually want to have some real discussions on gun reform? Let's have some real discussions. Let's do it. But you know what? I promise you right now, put 4113 in and get the judges to practice it within the four corners of that document and watch what happens. Within one generation, it's going to stop. One. Yes, we still got a jacked up society that is happening right now. So we got to build the wall. I said build a wall. Okay. We've got to harden the schools. We've got to protect our children in the meantime. But I'm telling you, pass it. Bring the family units back together. Encourage. Put an equal starting point for both parents. Move away from it and not according to, who's a better parent or who's bad. Let's say we start with the presumption of 50-50. Let's look at real reasons why we should deviate away from that. Real stuff. Like, how far apart do the parents live away from each other? What do their work schedules look like? What do their vacations look like? What do their living situations look like? Their transportation. What do all these factors that actually contribute to whether they could successfully do a 50-50 plan or not? Instead, we want to talk about, serious endangerment. This serious endangerment doesn't even have a legal definition, and they know it. The Bar Association knows it. They wrote it. They put it in. They know it. They know it has no legal definition. That's why the judges don't have a clue as to what it is. This is why they bring GALs in and take GAL recommendations so they can sleep at night, because they have no idea what in the hell's going on. I would love to be a fly on the wall when the judge sits down and he first read Senate Bill 57 when it first became law, and he's sitting there, and I bet he was like, who in the bleep wrote this? Bleep. Boom. You know, judges, it's not judges are out there being evil because they want to be. They don't know how to rule. They have no idea because there's no legal definitions for this crap that they're writing into these bills. Anyhow, gun bans. I said we were going to get into reading some of the language. I've been on a rant for a long time, guys. I'm sorry. I've had enough. I'm sick and tired of them ignoring the root of the problem, dude. And now, you know what? The problem is identified, it's noted, and now it has to be changed, Tim. But you know what? We don't have lawmakers up there. No, we've got some good ones. Trust me, we've got some good ones. But we've got lawmakers up there that won't even take the time to pick up the bill and talk to us about it and actually read the bill. They look at an analysis and they listen to the Bar Association lawyers, okay? They listen to the Bar Association lawyers that come in and say, oh, well, this is bad for children. And they take the lawmakers take those attorneys' word for gold because they're attorneys. Okay, that's funny. The attorneys are so damn smart. Attorneys are so damn smart that they can't even recognize that we're coming off a presumption of fitness. Ask them about Santosky. Ask them about it. I bet you they can tell you that it takes clear and convincing evidence to overcome fitness. But they're too damn stupid to actually read the law and realize that they're trying to come off a presumption of fitness. I'm not buying it. They wrote it. They know damn good well it's sitting in there. All they're trying to do is use their status and their alphabet soup after the end of their name and say, we're professionals in this field, Mr. Lawmaker. You should take our word. This is just a bunch of angry dads. Don't listen to them. It's just a bunch of angry dads. House Bill 4113 is the answer, folks. It's sitting right there. Take these bills that are coming on the floor today, crumble them up and throw them aside, and pick up House Bill 4113 and let's start talking about that. Let's talk about the root of the problem. Let's talk about 85% of children that come from single-parent homes experience behavior disorders. And then and only then, once we've talked about that, then we can talk about the mental illnesses. We can talk about the psychotropic drugs that they pump through our children. Okay? We can talk about the chemicals they put in the water. We can talk about chemtrails. We can talk about any of the conspiracies out there that anybody wants to talk about. But first and foremost, we have to talk about the destruction of the family unit. The moral decay of our society. Behind 90% of the social ills we face today lies a broken home. That's gold. So while you sit here and waste our tax dollars today debating on these bills that are nothing but political theater for election, so that you can take the roll call votes, you can take the roll call votes and you can put out mailers, and you can say Representative Ives or Representative Breen or Representative whoever, Cabello, they don't care about children. They want to put children in harm's way. That's what the mailers will say. That's all these bills and this vote today is about. It's about political theater. We're in an election year, folks. Open your eyes. They're all trying to get reelected. This is why I got up off the couch. This is why I'm running for office. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. If you want something done, I guess you got to do it your damn self. Dad told me that a long time ago, man. But you know what? These people sitting there looking so pretty in their ribbons and bows and their little tuxedos and their ties tied real tight. I can tie a double Windsor knot too, man. I got real shiny shoes too. I can throw them on too. But it doesn't make me any better than you. Who are you to sit there and tell us what is in our best interest? And say, no. This is best for the people. This is what's best. When you can't even write a bill, House Bill 2812 passed damn near unanimously, okay? Damn near unanimously, and it has one of the most obvious Fourth Amendment violations I've ever seen in my life, and it passed damn near unanimously. And by some legislators that I love voted yes on that bill. Legislators that are my favorites. That I love watching, that I watch the General Assembly just for when they say, and to what purpose do you rise? And they jump up and they say, to the bill. And I say, yes, here we go. They didn't read it. They didn't read the bill. They read the analysis. And that is the problem. I understand that our lawmakers are booked and they're swamped and you've got a million people saying a million things. But here's the thing. Everybody gives you crap about voting present. But here's the thing. If you haven't read the bill, you should not be hitting a yes button. You should not be hitting a no button. If you haven't read the bill, the present button is the only option that you should be thinking about. Because if you haven't read the bill and you've only listened to the perspective of the special interest groups, whether it's us or them, doesn't matter. You shouldn't be hitting any button other than present until you've read the bill. If you haven't read the bill, there's no other option, folks. You can't vote yes, you can't vote no. You gotta read the bill. Read the bill. Alright, we're gonna get into some of this here. We are going to, this is the one that I want to go over the most because this is the one that is actually most relevant to us in the family courts reform. This dangerous person hotline. Okay, so and again, this is House Bill 1664. If you guys would like to go to ilga.gov, over on the left-hand side where it says search by number, you can type in HB 1664. Enter. It's going to pull up. You're going to hit full text. And remember, these are shell bills. So they took them and they're gutting them and they're adding this language to hide in there. So once you hit full text, you have to go down to House Amendment number 1. to read the new text in the bill. Okay, and it goes down for a little ways, and it's buried down in here kind of deep, actually. I looked at it, and I was just kind of like, well, what is this? Well, until I got pretty far down there. Okay, it is Section I-20 ILCS 2605-477 new. Dangerous Person Hotline. A. The Department of State Police shall provide a dangerous persons hotline to consist of a website and a toll-free number to enable a person to notify the department if the person has a reason to believe another person is a clear and present danger to himself or herself or another person. 2, hey, at least they used or herself in there. They actually put herself in there. I'm proud of them. They got a little bit off their sexist horse in this one. Yeah, there's sexism against men, but yet they call everybody sexist. That's another one. You're a sexist. You're a sexist. You're a sexist. Except we write bills that specifically target men. We write bills that specifically target fathers. That's not sexism, though. Nah, because, the women's suffrage movement, and they came along, and blah, 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 blah. And it's okay. Boys are born monsters. Boys are born rapists. Boys are born abusers. It's okay to beat up on boys. It's okay to attack men. Because we've indoctrinated society for 50 years to think that men are evil. That men are born evil. So it's okay to beat up our men. It's okay. Just like with fathers. It's okay to beat up fathers because we've indoctrinated society for so long to believe that they're running away from their responsibilities. They're deadbeats. They need to man up. They need to step up to the plate. Society's been indoctrinated. So now, when they see a man being abused, they don't care because he's a worthless deadbeat anyway. He's probably behind on child support. Go ahead. Oppress him. We don't care. Discriminate him against him. We don't care. We don't like him anyway. He's a monster. He's a deadbeat. Alright? Sorry, I just recognized that they actually put herself in this one. I'm proud of them. I'll give them a thumbs up on that. Okay. 2. In possession of or has access to a firearm. B. The hotline shall permit a person with the option to report anonymously. The department shall keep records of the accounts taken by the hotline, which shall not be subject to disclosure under Section 7.5 of the Freedom of Information Act. They're going to not even let us FOIA request the data they're collecting on us. They're restricting our Freedom of Information Act. We can't even find out what data they're collecting on us because we're not allowed to FOIA request it. Woo! Am I on a roll this morning? You guys see why I'm so pissed off now? You see why the foul language is coming out? I am sorry. It's kind of like when you hit your thumb with a hammer and you want to scream, beep, 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 beep. Go to a construction site. Anybody out there that works construction that's hit their finger and 20 degrees outside, they know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Alright? Dangerous persons, section 10-20.67. Dangerous Persons Hotline. A. The Department of State Police shall, in cooperation with each school board, distribute appropriate materials in school buildings listing the toll-free number and website established in conjunction with the Dangerous Persons Hotline established under Section 2605-477 of the Department of State Police Law and Civil Administrative Code of Illinois, including methods of making a report which shall be displayed in a clearly visible location in each school building. See, this stuff sounds real good on its face, right? Sounds real good, man. Look, we're looking out for kids, bro. We're looking out for kids. We're looking out for kids. We're looking out for kids. Research, but research shows that it's in a child's best interest to have equal access to both parents. But we'll vote no to 4113. But over here, we're looking out for kids, yo. Yo, we're looking out for kids. Oh, over here, though, for 4113, we're still looking out for kids because, we ignore all that research. We go off of, piece together opinion pieces that the Bar Association presents to us. Why? Because they give us so much damn money in our campaign accounts every year. It's an election season. We can't, God, we need that money. God, we need that $5,000. Do you? You need that $5,000 winning re-elections that important to you? I don't think it should be. And if it is, you're part of the problem. All right. Each school board shall send a letter to parents informing them of the dangerous person hotline established under Section 2605-477 of the Department of State Police Law of the Civil Administrative Code of Illinois and place this information on the school board's website. The Department of State Police shall, in cooperation with the board, distribute appropriate materials in school buildings, listing the toll-free number and website established in conjunction with the dangerous person hotline established under 20, blah, 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 blah. The board shall, that's just being repetitive. Here's another little tipper morsel tucked away way down here in the bottom of the bill. It is admitted as is a person who is admitted as an inpatient or resident of a public or private mental health facility for mental health treatment under Chapter 3 of the Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities Code as an informal admission under Article 3, a voluntary admission under Article 4, a minor admission under Article 5, an emergency admission under Article 6, or an involuntary admission under Article 7. Look, involuntary. So remember that. Okay. Is otherwise provided mental health treatment as inpatient or resident, public, private, blah, 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 then it just goes into all the different facilities that qualify. I don't have time to read this whole bill to you guys. It's long. I'm just reading the underlines. The department may order an applicant or current firearm owner identification card holder. Okay. This is sickening, you guys. A person whose mental condition is of such nature that it poses a clear and present danger to the applicant or any other person or persons or the community. The department, on their own accord, the department may order an applicant or current firearm owner's identification card holder to undergo a mental health screening to determine if the person's mental condition poses a clear and present danger to himself or herself or any other person or persons or the community. Okay, so check this out. Wait a minute. This is funny. Okay? The department may order an applicant or current firearm owner's identification card holder to undergo a mental health screening to determine if the person's mental condition poses a clear and present danger to himself or herself. Do you remember up top that it said, what did it say? It said, if. Oh, God, this is so stupid. Oh my God. See, and then I'm just reading through this like a little bit more thorough, and this one just clicked on me. Bear with me. I'm going to get off course for a minute. We're going to backtrack. No, I lost it. All right, I'll get to that later as I do a full analysis on this thing later on. Okay, here we go. Okay. The department may order an applicant or a current firearm owner's FOID card holder to undergo a mental health screening to determine if the person's mental condition poses a clear and present danger to himself or herself, any other person or persons, or the community if. The department has credible information, the department has credible information establishing probable cause to believe the person presents a clear and present danger to himself or herself or any other persons or the community. Or if the person was a patient in a mental health facility, at a mental health facility more than 10 years ago. If the person was a patient at a mental health facility more than 10 years ago, what in the God's name is that? Okay. Okay, if the person was a patient at a mental health more than 10 years ago, period, the department may delay the issuance of a FOID card or suspend a current holder's card for a period not to exceed 90 days until a mental condition determination is made. So if you went to the hospital and you were admitted to the psych ward over 10 years ago, okay, more than 10 years ago, so 20 years ago, you could all of a sudden, if this passes, you'll get a letter in the mail stating that your FOID card is now revoked until you go get a mental evaluation done because you were in a psych ward. You admitted yourself in the psych ward for a day 20 years ago at the hospital. It's sick. Okay, if the applicant FOID card does not submit to mental health screening, the application shall be denied or the firearm owner's identification card shall be revoked. However, the applicant or firearm owner's identification card holder may request an extension of time to comply for the good cause determined by the department. Oh, isn't that so nice of them? Oh, that's cute. The applicant may request an extension of time to go get a mental health screening done. Oh, it does sound a lot like an emergency OP, doesn't it, Tim? Because it's done the same way. It's done without due process. It's done ex parte. And it's even worse than ex parte. At least ex parte, you walk into a courtroom and actually get a judge to put the order. Here, it's the state police, the department, based on the calls coming into their crisis hotline. There's no court order. The judges are not getting these calls, going to the courts and saying, hey, we've got all these calls on this person. Can you give us a warrant? No, they're not doing that. They're clearly violating your due process rights again. And nobody cares. Why? Because they're putting it under the guise of the safety of children. Quit using our children as pawns. Stop it. Okay, so they may give them an extension time to comply for good cause determined. Oh, and if only for good cause. And this is the extension for good cause is determined by the department as well. Not the courts, the department. Our cops. Is the Illinois State Police part of the judicial branch now? Did I miss something? Whoo! Okay. The department may designate mental health providers eligible to provide mental health screening as under this subsection, whose cost shall be paid by the applicant or current firearm owner's identification card holder. Hear that too? They get to choose which mental health providers you go to. And listen, this doesn't have to be a friend or a spouse or anybody to make these reports. It could be a political opponent. Mike Murphy could be watching this video right now. He's probably like, pass it, so I can call the hotline on Steven. Pass it, hurry up, pass it. Man, these people, and these are your lawmakers, you guys. These are the people that we are electing to represent us. This is what they are doing to us. This has got to stop, folks. This has got to stop. It starts and ends with you. It's got to stop. Let's go see what other kind of garbage they got hidden in this thing. Ooh. Nothing. That's woo. Thank you, Jesus. Thank God. That was about, man, that one about made my head explode alone. I think I got to get another cup of coffee before we move on to the next bill, guys. What time is it anyway? Wow, we've been on here for an hour and a half, and I've still got 33 viewers watching with me. I am proud of you guys. You guys are awesome, man. Good job out of you guys. All right, let's go to my favorite one, the HB 1468, the AR-15 band. Let's just go see what it's the assault rifle band. Okay, I love you too, man. Kurds. I love American friends. Well, I love my Kurdish friends. Thank you, brother. You are my new friend as well. Okay. HB 1468. So we're going to go see now. We're going to go find out what they consider an assault rifle. This one's fun. This bill's so stupid. I read this the last time they came around. I'm interested to see what changes they've made this time. It's probably the same damn bill. Boom, boom, boom. And this one, you guys, that we're on now, this is, I love you too, Mark. This is House Bill 1468. So you can go over to ilga.gov. In the keyword search on the left, type HB 1468 if you would like to check out the assault weapon bans. And it starts off right with the definition of what an assault weapon is. I gotta get another coffee, man. If you guys are still here with me when I get back, I'll continue to talk. What was the one I was just reading, Katie? That was the, that is House Bill 1664. That is the Dangerous Person Hotline. House Bill 1664. And I will be right back.
Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has
Alright, sorry. Had to take a commercial break. Alright, 11 people. I'm back. Seems like some dropped off. Sorry guys, I know I'm long-winded. We could talk all day long. Alright, so we are on to House Bill 1468. This is going to be 720 ILCS 5-2 through 3.1 new. Okay? Assault weapon. Assault weapon means 1. Any rifle which has a belt-fed ammunition system or which has a detachable magazine capable of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition. Now notice, okay? They didn't say a firearm that has a magazine of 30 rounds or more in it, okay? Read that again. Any rifle which has a belt-fed ammunition system or which has a detachable magazine capable of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition. So, here's what we got to ask ourselves. What does the lawmaker mean by that? Okay? Any rifle which has a belt-fed ammunition system or which has a detachable magazine capable of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition. Okay? So I guess if it's got, they could mean, I guess this could be taken two ways, and this is where it comes down to the judges' interpretations of this crap. Okay? So we need to find out legislative intent on this. So I'm going to be interested to see, we've got a half hour before session starts, so I'm going to have to get off here. This is going to be the last one that we do analyze. So I'm going to try to get through this pretty quick because I got to get on session so that it's like when I'm watching session, it's like I'm watching a football game, you know, and when you're sitting there and you're like, run, go, 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 touchdown, yeah, you know, I'm the same way when I'm watching the Illinois General Assembly. And sometimes I'm like, no, that's a horrible call, throw the flag, review it, take it back. That was a penalty. Pass interference. You know, you guys know the drill, man. You guys know I get giddy like that. I don't get giddy like that over football anymore. I don't get giddy like that over football anymore. I get giddy like that over the Illinois General Assembly. And actually, I get jonesing so bad that, like, when the Illinois General Assembly is out, I'll go start watching other states' General Assemblies because I'm just waiting for us to get back in session. And it's quite funny, too, because when you do that, you go across these states, and you look at all the liberal states across the nation, you see them. They're all, like, passing the same bills. It's like domino effect, man. They're like, they try to do it all the way. Boom, 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 boom. They try to keep getting it going around. Okay, so, any rifle which has a belt-fed ammunition system or which has a detachable magazine capable of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition. Okay? Well, every rifle out there is capable of taking a magazine that holds 10 rounds, 30 rounds, 100 rounds. They're capable of. So we need to find out some legislative intent there. Are they talking about the magazine capable of holding more than 10 rounds? Or are they talking about the rifle which is capable of holding a magazine that is holding 10 rounds? See, it's vague. It's up for interpretation. We need to know legislative intent. A semi-automatic rifle that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine and has any of the following. Oh, we don't need to know legislative intent because here it is. Oh. 2, a semi-automatic rifle that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine and has any of the following. A folding or telescoping stock or a shroud that is attached to or partially or completely encircles the barrel and that permits the shooter to hold the firearm with the non-trigger hand without being burned. Okay, so a semi-automatic rifle that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine. Okay? So if it can take a detachable magazine, right? Hear me out. Okay? That has any of the following with accepting a detachable magazine. A folding or telescoping stock. So if you've got a rifle, 22 rifle, for example, like my Mossberg 715T, my little Plinkster, I love it. Folding telescoping stock, right? Magazine. Holds 25 rounds in my mag. Right? Illegal! Even though it's a 22 rifle. Illegal! Right? Okay? B. A shroud that is attached to or partially or completely encircles the barrel. What? A shroud that is attached to, comma, or partially or completely encircles the barrel. And that permits the shooter to hold the firearm with the non-trigger hand. What rifle out here does not have some sort of guard for you to hold so that you don't burn yourself? Which rifle? Has anybody got one? Are there any rifles out there that you shoot one-handed? Were we supposed to maybe hold it by our magazine? Hey, we could hold it by the magazine, but they're taking our magazines away from us, so that we can hold it by the little nub, I guess. Alright. The people that write these things, I swear to God. Okay, a semi-automatic pistol that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine that has any of the following: a folding or telescoping stock, a shroud that is attached to or partially or completely encircles the barrel and that permits the shooter to hold the firearm in a non-trigger hand without being burned, a manufactured weight of 50 ounces or more when the pistol is unloaded. What? Oh, wow. Okay. This is disgusting. Okay. Okay. Contains its ammunition. Wait a minute. Oh, that's a shotgun. Okay. Woo. Okay. A semi-automatic. This is okay. A semi-automatic rifle with a fixed magazine that has the capacity to accept more than 10 rounds. So any semi-auto that has even a fixed magazine that can hold more than 10 rounds. Okay. A semi-automatic shotgun that has a folding or telescoping stock that contains its ammunition in a revolving cylinder or a fixed magazine capacity in excess of 5 rounds of ammunition, except as may be authorized under the Wildlife Code, and excluding magazine extensions during the snow geese conservation order season. Oh, so you can have magazine extensions during snow geese. Okay, I got you. Wait a minute. Hold on. Isn't that one of their arguments? Don't they always say that we don't need 30 rounds to hunt deer? Don't they always say that? Hold on. They always say that we don't need 30 rounds to go hunting. A fixed magazine capacity in excess of 5 rounds. The ability... Okay, hold on. Where'd he go? Where'd the hell did that go about the birds? A fixed magazine capacity in excess of 5 rounds of ammunition, except as may be authorized under the Wildlife Code, and excluding magazine extensions during the snow geese conservation order season. You don't need 30 rounds to hunt deer, but you sure as hell need 30 rounds to hunt snow geese. Them must be some evasive little critters. Okay. Okay, number 6. A 50 caliber rifle, center fire rifle, capable of firing a 50 caliber cartridge. The term does not include any antique firearm, any shotgun, including a shotgun that has a rifle barrel or muzzle loader, which is used to use black powder for hunting or historical reenactments. 50 caliber cartridge means a cartridge and a 50 Malibu GMJ. 50 caliber cartridge does not include any memorabilia, display, blah, 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 blah. Okay, assault weapon does not include. Here we go. Now we can find out what an assault weapon does not include. Any firearm that is manually operated by bolt, pump, lever, or slide action is an unserviceable firearm, has been permanently inoperable, is an antique firearm, uses rimfire ammunition or cartridges. Oh, my .22 rifle might just be saved. I don't know. I don't know if this one takes precedence over the top or not. I will have to see, like the order of operations, which takes precedence, because my .22's a rimfire. Oh, I might get to keep my .22. I might get to keep my 715T. Oh, you guys are so nice. I love you guys. And you guys gave me, the department gets to give me an extension if I show a request. Okay. Has been excluded as an assault weapon in a Department of Natural Resources rule. The Department of Natural Resources shall have the authority to adopt rules to further define exclusions of assault weapon types under this section. Provide the make, model, and caliber of the firearm excluded has a viable application to hunting game and conforms to accepted hunting principles or fair chase. 2. Any air rifle as defined in section 24.8-0.1 of this code. Oh, and then they go into antique firearms, which looks like it's just some technicals. Yeah, so they've reworded this a little bit, but not much. It's still got the same bull crap. So anyway, that one is House Bill 1468. This is your AR-15 ban. Okay? This is what they're going after. I gotta find the one that I read earlier. Oh my god, hold on. Is this one Daniel Burke's? No, this one's Jonathan Carroll's. Let me find Daniel Burke's. Hold on. What's the one I read? 14. I gotta find the one about the black rifles before we go. I've gotta find that one. I'm sorry. Mm, 14. It might be in the magazine ban one. 14 HB 1469 maybe. Just a moment here. Yeah, this one is Daniel Burke's. It might have been in here. Oh, and this one too, they're banning body armor. You can't wear body armor. You can't have body armor. So, so a kid, okay, so check this out. A kid that goes to school wearing a bulletproof vest because he's scared of a school shooter becomes a felon because they can't have body armor. This stuff is brilliant, you guys. You can't make this crap up. I'm serious. Just go look at it. It's really disgusting. I gotta find this part because this is so hilarious. I cracked up because I woke up at 6:30 this morning and I kind of started scanning and I fell back asleep. But somewhere in one of these bills, it talks about if the weapon is black, you ban it, or there's a 3-day waiting period if it's black. Which one was this in? Jesus. The waiting time one, which one was it? Sales. 1465 maybe. 1465. Full text, House Amendment 1. Yeah, I don't know where it's at, you guys. I'm going to get back to you on that bill number. I promise you guys I will post it up later. Session is getting ready to start, so I'm going to get out of here. Remember, go in. You can go to the Sangamon County Courthouse right now. When you see Mike Murphy, head west. You see Mike Murphy, head west, right in Stephen Westerfield. You see Murphy, head west. Stephen Westerfield, right in Stephen Westerfield. Make sure you fill in that little black bubble right next there and then write my name on that line right there, you guys. We got to do this. We've got to get it done, man. The guy who's running against me, he can't be trusted. He can only push his own agenda. Ronner's flip-flop so much on all these other issues. We can't trust him with our guns. We can't trust him to protect our guns. So get out there, man. Vote right in Stephen Westerfield. Cast an early ballot, you guys. Get it over with. That way, on election night, when the TV comes up, we pop up to the top with 90%, and then as all the precincts start reporting and stuff, we shrink down. But I want to see that check mark go projected 5 seconds after the results have started showing on the screen. Let's do this. Let's make history. Let's win this thing as a write-in. Let's do the impossible. I love you guys. Remember, go over to ilga.gov. Watch session on the House section. It says audio/video. Click on that link and go watch session with me because that's where I'm going. You need to be heading there too. I love you guys. God bless. Peace out.